Hi, we're here talking with Scott Robarge, a recruiting professional with over 15 years of recruiting expertise, to talk a little bit about the importance of the candidate experience. Hi, Scott. Thanks for coming today.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's my pleasure being here.
So, why is the candidate experience so important?
Um, you know, Many companies don't recognize its incredible value. A positive candidate experience is one, if not the most critical component to a company's recruiting strategy. With the advent of social media and sites like Glassdoor, it's more important than ever that candidates have a positive experience when they interface with your company. And also, a person's experience starts with the first contact by the hiring manager or recruiter and ends after the interview process is completed, regardless if that ends after the phone screen, interview, or offer stage. And I think some people don't realize what a long experience can be for some candidates.
So, now what are some suggestions on how to best achieve a positive candidate experience?
Um, well, there's a number of things, and they'll change from company to company. But some basics would be like just to think of that. All contact through the process must be very professional, from the first phone call, email, Facebook message, tweet, whatever it may be. However, you're contacting your candidates, you're starting to paint the picture of the company for the candidate, and everything you do throughout the entire process continues to shape that picture for them. And then again, once you've established their interest, you need to set expectations with them by outlining the process, so they have a good idea of what to expect. For example, if the phone interview goes well, this will be the next step, and so on.
So that's a good topic. What about when the candidate is actually in the interview process at the company? What are some things that the company can do?
Well, you should create a succinct interview process for one, and it should be standardized as much as you can across the organization. Sometimes, it may be different for engineering as opposed to from sales or marketing, but standardized within those organizations or those groups within the company. The interview teams should be set for one, with each interviewer knows their role, what competencies they're covering, etc. All interviews need to understand the interview process is a two-way street. They need to evaluate the candidate, but the candidate's also there to evaluate the company. Too many companies view this as a time to just screen the candidates and not really take the opportunity to tell them about the company and to sell them. And that's the other piece that's important. The interviewers need to always be in sell mode. They're responsible for selling the candidate, regardless of halfway through the interview or even as soon as they get into the interview, they know the person's not a fit. It's important they understand the long-term effect and value of taking that opportunity to personally sell an individual on, what their company's all about. And also every candidate's a potential customer. So, and it's different, depending on what the company's product is, but it definitely rings true for companies that have a consumer-based offering. Everyone they talk to is hopefully a user of the product. You always want to also keep the candidate updated with feedback at each stage of the process. If the person's not a fit, tell them in a timely manner. Don't procrastinate. Again, people, more than anything, just want to get feedback and feel like they're being communicated to. When it goes silent, what are they going to do other than oftentimes assume the worst?
That's a great point. And I imagine hiring managers and interviewers don't even think about some of these little things and how they can affect the bigger picture.
Many don't. When you create a thoughtful candidate experience, you positively affect and help to build, and establish your company's brand. Since again, I mentioned it earlier, since we live in a society where information travels quickly, via social media and many other mediums, this is an ideal opportunity for your company to influence what people say. A candidate experience has a ripple effect for many parts of the business, and this is an ideal opportunity to make it a positive one.
That's a great point. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today, Scott.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thanks so much for having me.